Okay. Okay, we're just coming from a different angle here. This is going to be interesting. All right. Oh, okay, we can hear me from this side. All right. This is interesting. All right, folks. Always do something new. We're trying to bring something new to you in terms of giving you this information. As always, it's good to see all of you on board here. We are, as always, trying to improve stuff. But let's go ahead and hop into it because today we got a very serious, very interesting topic. And today we are talking about that whole thing of getting back up, getting back up, getting everything working the way that it's supposed to be. And typically the reason why we're not, a lot of guys are very interested in this subject is because we're not getting the information. Looking like a radio disc jockey. Hey, what's going on, Jarius? All right. Hey, Damon. Okay, we got it. Good. All right, what's going on, Daniel? What's going on, Sofri? Hey, Jorge. Hey, appreciate everybody getting on the call. And if you're just hopping in, please go ahead and put in the comment section where you're checking in from. I want to give a quick shout out to my team, as always, making things happen, and Jabari for coming through and helping us get this situated. Shout out to nephew Jay. And real quick, a housekeeping note. We have a lot of comments from guys who are coming and seeing this, and they're like, hey, can you keep it short, an hour long, get straight to the point. Well, we do a 10-minute video that actually for this one, it was 8-minute. We release that every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so in the evenings, like we do right now, this is where I answer your questions. We get into it. I go deeper into the topic. So that's the reason why we separate the two, so we can go deeper. So if you want to get straight to the point, check out the earlier video. And tonight we're talking about how to get back up after having an orgasm. That's a huge thing, because for a lot of guys, you don't get this information in terms of, where you're going to hear it from. If you're just experiencing it through life, a lot of people don't want to talk about it. I like to be transparent about it. But, even getting information from my pops, bless his soul, my man, he's a good dude. But, some people just don't know how to have this conversation. So, my birds and bees talk was on the way to church, and there's a hill to our church, and the conversation was going up the hill and down the hill. It was like less than a minute. So, but that's what happens. That's what's happened. Shout out to Jorge in New York, Florida in the house. Philly, what's going on, Tyrone? Play a preacher. All right. What's going on? Love it, love it, love it. London, England, zone 1 hearing. Hey, good deal, good deal. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, because, this is something I think a lot of guys have experience with and a lot of guys don't talk about. Myself having that experience in terms of, just living life, and even at the age of 27, 28, just trying to see, just experimenting, seeing what's going on, and getting into a situation where, your woman, you just did your thing, and she wants you to get back up right away. And you're like, I don't know how this is supposed to happen. So we're going to give you that information right now, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, Maldives. All right, love it. 7:35 morning time. All right. So yeah, if you want to get back up faster after that orgasm, I'm going to talk about the things you need to know. What the refractory period is. That's that time between you just had your orgasm and getting back up. I may dive a little bit into the difference between orgasm and ejaculation, what you can do to get back up, and what supplements can help, what things you can take. And as a bonus, I'm going to talk about some things that, you can talk to with your lady so she doesn't make the situation worse. Shout out to, to everybody here. And let's go ahead and hop into it, because it's really important that we understand that the refractory period occurs right after you reach climax. You did your thing, boom, that happens. This recovery phase, it takes time. It takes time, and how long it takes depends on you and your age. It takes time because your body has to get back up in terms of the producing the testosterone, producing the sperm, and also lowering the prolactin. I'll talk about prolactin in a second, but it's very important that you understand that this is the chemistry that happens in your body. If you don't understand the chemistry, you may be thinking of things as why this is happening. It's straight chemistry. And women have a refractory period too. It just happens to be way shorter. And why is that? Well, there's a difference between the difference between men and women. So it's sort of like for a man, our refractory period takes some time because you just gave life. That's what we do. We give life. And for women, her refractory period in terms of this process will be giving birth. And it's like, right after birth, you don't want to have sex right away. I haven't heard that one. But so it's the same thing with guys. We need that period of time. How long does this period of time last? It depends. It depends. Hey, shout out. What's going on, Darius from Atlanta? How long it depends on your health, your libido, and your diet. So when it comes to your diet and everything all these things that we always talk about, if you're on the downward spiral, then yes, it's going to take you longer to get up. As you age, that automatically means you're on the downward spiral, depending on how you take care of yourself. But as you get older, it could take longer, much longer, just scary long. I'm talking about 12 to 24 hours, days may pass before your body's able to get back up. And during this refractory period, it isn't like outside stimulation is going to change the chemicals going on the inside. So it's not like all of a sudden, your woman can do something amazing and you're just going to get up. It doesn't work like that. We got Chris from Chicago. I got a good friend named Chris from Chicago, Chi-Town, in the house. All right, let's get into it. What else we have here? Now, what can affect it? Your refractory period may last a lot longer if you're having intercourse than compared to if you're masturbating. Basically, because when you're masturbating, you control everything, how it feels, all this other kind of stuff. But how turned on she makes you also has something to do with it, has something to do with the process. We're talking about the quality of sex, the frequency of sex. So whenever you ejaculate, zinc comes out. So zinc is required to produce testosterone and also sperm. So whenever you ejaculate, you have zinc coming out. Oddly enough, zinc is also part of what makes your eyes see better. So that whole thing of like jerking off to the point where you can't see, there's a level of funny truth to that. But yeah, the zinc is very important. So we'll talk more about that in a second. What you consume for the last day, we talk about this all the time. What you eat, what goes into your body is going to determine what happens next. That's just the way it is. There's no way to get around that. So, of course, meat stays in your system for a long period of time. It doesn't matter what kind of meat it is. It just stays in your system for a longer period of time, clogging up things, not allowing your blood flow to the penis. That obviously doesn't help for you to get back up. And, of course, alcohol isn't good, period. It's just a poison that happens to make us feel woozy. And the thing that you should understand, trying to stress too hard, like, get up, man, come on, let's go. However you talk to your sir, however that is, stressing yourself is just going to add more cortisol to the situation, make you stressed out, and it's not going to help with you getting back up. Letting her stress you out is not a good thing either. A lot of women just don't know. And so, maybe you can explain it to her now. But I used to have to tell homegirl, like, yeah, I just moved a mountain. This was difficult. You don't just pop back up immediately to do that. But unfortunately, some women believe that's the case. And so, let's see. Now, if we're looking to shorten it, now that's the whole thing, being able to shorten that. The first thing is to recognize that you want your body to focus in on getting you to that next erection. So what you eat, everything beforehand had an effect, but if you just had sex and you try to eat some more, it's going to be problematic because now your body has to deal with digestion first. Your body always deals with what you just put into it beforehand. So eating or drinking after having an orgasm is going to delay you getting back up. One of the things you can do to help with the process, of course, is deep breathing. We talk about that a lot because when you're increasing your breath, you're doing deep breathing, your belly is going out, you're increasing the oxygen that's in your body. So that is always helpful for everything. You can do different things like massage your testicles to get more blood flow going. But these are smaller things. These things is really what you do beforehand. With the things that you can avoid doing things during, but beforehand, it takes some time. So what you need to do is just go ahead and relax, rest, let your body do what it needs to do. Do not stress. And all the things that you do beforehand, when we talk about the exercise, the cardiovascular, all the healthier you are, the faster your refractory period is going to be, the shorter it's going to be. And so that applies to, as you get older, stay healthy. If you're young, stay healthy. It helps. And if you have any underlying conditions like diabetes, cardiovascular issues, then of course that's going to delay you being able to get back up. And if you need some help with that, please go back to in the catalog and check out the video on blood flow. And in fact, if you haven't done so, please help me out. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Definitely hit the like button if you haven't done that. But I'd like for you to go ahead and subscribe so we can make sure we get this information to you. I think this subject, especially this one, is very important because, like I said, with life experience, you sort of figure things out. But a lot of guys don't talk about this issue. And you don't want to be in a situation where you don't know what's going on. If you need to send this to your son, if he's old enough, you may need to hear this because it more than likely will happen. And it's better to be able to explain to your woman what's going on than to be in a situation where you're like, I don't know. That's not a good look. That's not a good look at all. Hey, what's going on, Stephen? Oklahoma in the house. All right. Almonds. Oh, blanched almonds. Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. So let's get into those supplements to use right quick. We're talking about goji berries, which are a superfood. It's high in zinc. As I mentioned before, whenever you ejaculate, you're losing zinc, and you need that zinc for production of testosterone for your erections and for that sperm. And also maca root increases sperm count. So I got my powdered maca right over there. Bee pollen a couple of times a day, that helps. And when it comes to zinc itself, they have the zinc supplements that you can get. You want to be careful with those. I've done this myself. I'll just take a zinc supplement and, I'll take the one the next day and then my stomach is being ripped apart. You want to be very careful with those zinc supplements. They're very strong and harsh to your stomach. Ashwagandha. Ashwagandha increases testosterone and lowers prolactin. And let me go ahead and talk about prolactin right quick. It's very interesting. Prolactin is very interesting. It is a hormone released after orgasm. And is a major factor in the reason why. So whenever they've done studies of men who just ejaculated, the prolactin goes up in your body. Now, here's an interesting question. When does prolactin go up in a woman's body? Right after she gives birth. That word lactin in there, lactate. So after birth, that's when that comes up so she can produce mother's milk. So obviously prolactin in a man's body is not helpful for manly things. So you want to get that ashwagandha. And also, obviously, I'm going to mention African fly, increases testosterone and blood flow. So make sure you check out africanfly.com. So you want to have these supplements in your system already. So it's not like, okay, I just ejaculated, let me take some African fly, that's going to help. Once again, your body's like, oh, I have to figure out what this is, digest it, use it, blah, blah, blah. It's not focusing in on getting that testosterone up and getting that sperm up. So, you don't want to wait too late. So the refractory period, in conclusion, occurs right after you reach sexual climax. It may take a few minutes, a few hours, a few days, depending on your age and level of health. Trying too hard and stressing, not a good look. Not a good look at all. And do not eat during this period. It's important that you give your body the chance to recover on its own. Make sure you're taking the supplements, the goji berry, the ashwagandha, the African fly, the bee pollen, and zinc. All these different. And once again, Be careful. Some guys think I'm just gonna go to GNC and buy all these things and just stuff them into my body at the same time. It's not just the supplements, fellas. It's what else you do. What else you do makes a huge difference. So, yeah. If you could, in the comment section, if you have anything else that you have found out that helps you out with getting back up faster, go ahead and let me know. So yeah. So yeah, this is the type of information I want to make sure as many guys get as possible, because a lot of guys just go through life and thinking that, this is what we do. We think that, okay, like everything else, you're just supposed to know it. You're supposed to know how to get a girlfriend. You're supposed to know how to talk to somebody. You're supposed to know how to have sex. We don't get taught in school 3 things: money, sex, and relationships. The most dominant things in your life. We're taught in school how to get a job. So you have to learn these things outside of it. All right. Let me go ahead and get into any of these questions. Please go ahead to the comment section. Hit me with all your questions so that we can get things rocking and rolling. And I saw one question of water. What alternative ways to drink water besides in bottles? Got mine right here. This is, I guess we call it, this is aluminum. I'm not sure what this material is, but it's a material. This is from my yoga. My yoga class. This material allows you to be able to, I have my zero water. I put my zero water in here. Check out zerowater.com. I'm not plugging them. I'm just saying I use that in terms of getting water so I can carry this around without an issue. Jorge, I ordered African fly. Thanks, sir. The other day, is it okay to take it with ginseng? Yeah. That's fine. Once again, when it comes to herbs, most herbs are meant to go together. And so, as long as you're not going overboard, and also you want to be very careful with the quality. When it comes to pills, a lot of times people are like, okay, I'm taking this pill. Okay, pills come from pill machines, and pills are not natural in any sense. If anybody says this is a natural pill, that doesn't make any sense at all, because it takes so much processing that any nature that was in it is taken out. Capsules, okay, you got the powdered capsules, that's fine. And tinctures, which is African fly is several herbs strained in alcohol to make a liquid tincture. So you can, take an African fly with ginseng is fine. I take it with ashwagandha, maca, mirapama. I'm just looking for the best situations for my body. So experiment. Yeah, there you go. All right. Is Nathan the dude? What's going on, Nathan? Is wine beneficial to your sexual health? For dudes, no. For guys, no. I know that whole thing about, the I forgot what the chemical is that's in red wine that's supposed to be great. But here's the issue. The only reason why you're drinking the wine, which is basically fermented grapes, is because it's going to make you feel woozy. It's still a poison to your body. So for women, it has less of an effect. It's less, it releases their inhibitions. So for them, red wine with African fly is very, very, very powerful. So yeah. Corey asks, what foods can I eat that contains zinc? Pumpkins, pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds is the first thing that comes to mind. And most, I can't get that. I don't have that list off the top of my head, but I know pumpkin seeds. So yeah, go ahead, do a little Google search right quick. But there are a lot of plant foods out there with zinc in it, just like everything else that we need. All right. Nathan also asks, do you recommend L-arginine in vitamin pill form? No, I don't recommend L-arginine other than in food form. So let me see. So the way it goes is that watermelon contains L-citrulline. When you take L-citrulline, you eat the L-citrulline, your body turns into L-arginine. And then once you have the L-arginine in your body, what it actually does, it increases nitric oxide. Nitric oxide actually increases the blood flow in your body. So that's the reason why you hear people taking L-arginine, L-citrulline, and nitric oxide pills. So it's better to take the fruit. So yeah, You know, if you're going to take it in pill form, just once again, be very careful. It's not a natural thing. You're looking to increase blood flow in your body. The one way to increase blood flow, which is made of water, is to consume something that is made of water, watermelon. So if you're consuming something that's dry and you put it into your body, it's going to have a different effect. Magnesium play a preacher. Yeah, you're right with that. All right. All right. Does porn affect on this? Does porn have an effect on the refractory period? I would say in a weird way, yeah. And that is because it probably already had an effect. If you went through the process of having an orgasm, if you're looking at a whole bunch of porn, once again, it's 3 women, a horse, an octopus, all this weird stuff that they have with porn. You get to a point where you don't, where your imagination is now attached to, your dopamine is attached to a screen and not attached to this person. So even though you've gotten through and you had sex, you were probably imagining something else. And now you're looking at this person who's laying next to you. She's ready to start over again. And you're like, I didn't see an octopus. Where's the horses? There's supposed to be 3 women here. So your brain is not going to be connecting. The thing to remember is that you're supposed to be connecting with the person that's there. And if you're continuously watching porn, you're not connecting with the person. You're sending all the love gems. So the love signals that are going into your brain are going to a person that does not exist in your reality. There it is. Okay. And there's a follow-up question. A shilajat. I never say that word right. It's shilajat. Helpful. That this is a blackish brown powder, and it comes from high mountain rocks in the Himalayas. So it's not really proven that works very well. It's used in Ayurveda, but you want to be careful with that. Sometimes when they say something's not proven, this is on Western medicine standards, and it's always funny to me when you have labs and doctors are saying that something from nature, you have to prove that it works. Has anybody gone through and done a thorough test of apples? No, why would you? The reason why these labs exist and the doctors are doing these experiments and have to test and all this other kind of stuff is because they're making something new. The pill is new. So it's like, oh, this new pill is more effective than this apple. Well, we have tests that we did on this pill that shows its efficacy and nothing on this apple. Well, you don't need it for the apple because it's all been proven through human history. You genius idiots came up with this just 3 weeks ago. So no, it doesn't work like that. So yeah, I would say once again, test, see if it works out well for you. Hope that answers your question there. Man, you guys are getting deep with these questions. Woo, my brain. Okay. Zone 1 hearing. That's my man from London. What about D-aspartic acid? It's an amino acid. And so, just like all amino acids, it's helpful, but once again, it's like, where's that coming from? There's so many different amino acids that are going on in your body, so you don't have to get into all of that. Corey asks, are kombucha drinks healthy? I've had that. The one thing that claim to fame is that it's helpful for gut bacteria. And yeah, your gut bacteria is very, very important. You want to be careful though, because sometimes when it comes to people talking about gut bacteria, they're like trying to sell you a whole bunch of things. The one thing about your gut bacteria is that it is going to grow off of what you eat on the regular. So inside of your gut are hundreds of trillions of bacteria that break down the food and turn it into you. So the more you eat of a particular food, the more that bacteria is going to grow in your stomach. So you could be over here in a Western diet eating all of whatever you're eating, go to another part of the planet where there's no food like that. And the reason why you can consume the food and it will, you won't turn into another looking human. You still have the same fingers and legs and eyes and all sorts of kind of stuff. And that is because, your body is pre-programmed with these. It'll create these bacteria. But the more you eat of the same food, the more that same bacteria is going to grow. If it's bad bacteria, so you're eating pizza constantly and you're getting that pizza bacteria in your gut, then throwing some kombucha on top of that is not really going to solve anything, because you need to over time let them just die out. The way you let them die out is by putting other types of food into your body, and your body will look at that. Okay, I hope that answers your question. I may do a show on that. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, David, what's going on, sir? How does exercising like calisthenics or lifting weights affect sexual recovery? Okay, definitely lifting weights. Lifting heavy weights is going to increase your testosterone levels. And so, Nikki, can you put that back up? Let me see. It's going to increase your testosterone. Thank you. It's going to increase your testosterone levels. And as far as the calisthenics, yeah, that's helpful in terms of increasing your blood flow. So the more you have calisthenics, that's going to increase your stamina. And sex is a physical activity. Sex could be a sport. It's just we don't have an Olympics games for sex. Not that I know of. I'm quite sure somebody came up with that. You have the high jump. That's going to be funny. But anyway, but when it comes to calisthenics, it's very helpful to do that. So those two things, having that blood flow, having that extra testosterone is definitely going to help with your recovery. So, good question, David. Hope that answers it. All right. So here's Maldives Joseph. How many times a week is it okay to have sex for a man? Depends on the man. Depends on how often you want to have sex. I don't think there's a point where it is detrimental, because the truth of the matter is the only reason why you're alive is because somebody had sex. And the only reason why your parents are alive is somebody had sex. We're here to have sex. So I don't think there's a point where as a man you just get, unless there's something else wrong with the situation, like someone's forcing you to have sex all the time. No. Or you get to a situation where it's just too stressful, or you get into a situation where it's just no longer healthy. And that would take a lot. That would take, if it's a healthy situation, you have a person that wants to have sex, you have as much sex as you would like. Yep. All right. Hope that answered that question. Kenneth, what's going on, man? Does cayenne pepper work in smoothies? Some foul faces behind the camera. All right, so cayenne pepper is good from the standpoint it's a spice, and it is good for speeding up your metabolism, and also making you feel a little bit fuller. Whenever I do the Master's Cleanse, I'm using lemon water and cayenne pepper. I don't use the syrup, but that cayenne pepper is a good thing. It's hot. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out in your smoothie, but hey, man, if it works for you, I'm like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He doesn't eat for taste; he eats for results. So there you go. So the number of times, as long as you go for it, man. In fact, let me know. How about that? Experiment. Let me know. All right. What does the African fly do exactly? Thanks, Mr. Davenport. So African fly is an all-natural liquid aphrodisiac. So the two main things it does is increases the blood flow in your body, also increases your body's ability to produce testosterone. I call it a liquid testosterone salad. So, you can take it, and what's going to happen is going to increase the blood flow throughout your body. Your hands and your feet will actually feel cooler because the blood is going to your genital regions. So that's the reason why it functions as an aphrodisiac. Also, that process of increasing your testosterone is going to increase your stamina. It's going to increase your endurance. It's going to increase the number of erections. It's going to increase the strength of your orgasms, and actually helps with the refractory period, because all of this, the testosterone and blood flow, those are the main things that are needed for good sex and the whole sexual response cycle. And it does also work for women quite well. Okay, cool. Hope that answered that question. That's not a name. 0082. Martin. Okay, Minnesota. Does enlarged prostate affect ejaculatory recovery time? Yeah, that's an underlying condition. So you want to get that taken care of. Just being healthier will help with that whole process. So don't want to go too deep into the prostate process, but yeah, it's definitely going to affect that time. Mm-hmm. Hey, you're welcome, Corey. Okay. I see you play a preacher. Let me get this question first. All right, Nathan, what is your opinion on no fap, semen retention, good or bad for man's sexual health? Okay, no fap is fine. One of the things that's interesting to me is a lot of times people think that going no fap is just somehow amazing. It's what millions of humans have done for millions of years. It's like not looked at porn because it wasn't there. Though there have been millions of people for millions of years who have looked at porn. And, it's like if you're going to go no fap, if there's a specific reason for that, like you're having a problem watching porn, no fap. If you're having any other issues, then no fap. When it comes to semen retention, if you're not, you could look at a virgin. Are they in any ways more spectacular? Maybe a virgin that masturbates all the time, but if you're, if you don't ejaculate, there are some benefits to it, but you have to actually have those benefits in terms of, is it a spiritual reason why you're doing it? Is it a physical reason? It can't be just, I'm just not going to ejaculate and that's going to change a bunch of things. Because people have gone through years in prison. I'm not saying everybody, but in prison, there are people who's like, well, yeah, I'm not with my wife anymore. I'm in here for whatever reason, and I still, I'm not going to get with a man, and I'm just I don't feel like masturbating while in jail. So there's hundreds of thousands of men who done semen retention, forced semen retention. They are not doing anything, spectacular. So make sure if you're going to do that, make sure you're doing it for a specific reason. It tied into it. Make sure you have other activities that tie into it too. If you're going to meditate with it, there you go. All right. Corey, I don't know. Does African bird pepper help with erections? I'm not familiar with African bird pepper. I would have to. The African bird. Okay, learn something new all the time. We'll have to check that out. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and get this question. Hey, Guy, you're welcome. Guy says, "Hey, Brian, thanks for having these forums. They are so necessary for us men to open up and talk as well as learn." All right. Hossein Sims, for someone who is a 5, how long would African fly take to reverse the inability to get it up? Depends on the other things that you're also doing. So that's the reason why, as a part of selling African fly over the past 21 years, one of the things I realized early on is that it isn't just taking African fly, especially if you're having on a 5, you're on a downward spiral. You need to make some other changes, lifestyle changes. So, eating better, sleeping better, getting your exercise, intermittent fasting, and taking care of your stress levels. Those are the things that are going to speed up the process of that. Now, saying all of that, depending on where you are, depending on the day, African fly, for a 5, it can move you up to a 6. For a 6, it can move you up to a 7. For a 7, it can move you up to an 8 or a 9. So it really depends. And when I say it depends on the day, it's because most people's schedule changes in ways that they don't even think about. Your testosterone builds overnight. Your testosterone is the bursting and burning of testosterone is what fuels an erection. So if you don't have that testosterone from sleeping built up, then you may wake up the next day like, hey, I was taking African fly and I slept for 8 hours. Didn't think that you slept for 8 hours. And it was high quality sleep, 8 hours. and you take African flies, like boom, it's working. And then the next day you get 3 hours sleep, and you take African flies, like what happened? So it's more than just taking African fly, but yeah, it does move you up. How long it takes really depends on what you're doing with your body. Yep. Yep. We'll go ahead and get to this question from Player Preacher. Hey, what's your take on Fenugreek and selenium? So Fenugreek. My words are not coming out the way. Fenugreek is I use that myself, and it's good for lowering blood sugar, boosting testosterone. And the thing that you want to be careful with, especially for this particular topic, is that Fenugreek increases. Please leave that. Don't take that. Oh, thank you. There we go. Fenugreek is great for lowering your inflammation, helps with appetite control. But one of the things, especially when it comes to your refractory period, is that it's going to increase milk production. And we talked about prolactin, how prolactin is that process after a woman gives birth, her prolactin skyrockets so she can produce mother's milk. That's not great for your body. So you want to be careful with that. I took Fenugreek for a while just to see how it acted, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. And so for selenium, that's a powerful mineral essential for the proper functioning of your body. So it's great for your metabolism and for thyroid function. And so, overall, it just helps your body deal with oxidative stress and things of that nature. So if you go between those two, I would say go with the selenium. But yeah, yep. Hope that answers that question for you there. Play a preacher. I like that, man. Play a preacher. Play a pimp and play a preacher. If there's going to be a player pimp, there got to be a player preacher, I guess so. Joseph, how often should you be taking African fly? African fly is a liquid formula, so you're taking a teaspoon. We have a dropper top, but you're taking a teaspoon per serving. We recommend you take it morning, afternoon, and early evening. And the reason why we say early evening is because it is a stimulant. If you don't have sex, then it is going to keep you awake. Or if you don't have sex or you don't work out, it is going to keep you awake. The older you get, you can take more. And you can't overdose on it, but it's more important, once again, the older you get, that you're taking care of your body. So me personally, I've been taking African fly since I was 25. I am now 50. No, I'm not 50 yet. Woo! Give me some time. I'm going to make it though. I'm going to make it. But yeah, so roughly half of my life. And so yeah, at 25. It took me from a 9 to a 10, 11. Around my 30s, that's when it started like, oh, wow, this is sort of different. And as I slowed down on taking care of myself, I started taking more of it, then realizing that, yeah, taking more of it can help, but you need to do the other things that will make it even better. So great question. Hoping that answered your question. Oh, FBZ. I'm watching this, yet single. Hopefully I could find me a wife to put this to use. Hey, that is the goal here. That is the goal. And he asked that question, what is good for reducing prolactin? Actually, let me get, I have to do some more research on that. Because we're looking necessary for prolactin. That's more of a woman's issue. But yeah. Good question, though. Good question. Oh, Kenneth Brown. This is a good one. How about sea moss? Sea moss, oh my God, it's wonderful. We are actually going to be working with a gentleman out of Florida. Just talked with him about a week ago. I got some of his sea moss. It's better than some of the sea moss that I've come across. But sea moss is very nutrient dense. And the one thing that this guy told me that just made me go like, oh, I have to have it, is that he said that it gives you an unfair advantage. And immediately, my ears perked up like, oh, unfair advantage in the gym? Oh, okay. let's see how this works. So I've been taking it all this week. His specific one, which is a lot smoother than the other CMOS. He explained it. We're going to have him on the show so he can explain it even further. But it is it's great. When I was in the gym working out with my trainer, who is my cousin, and so therefore I can say he is crazy when it comes to working out. It's like I was keeping up with him, and I was doing at points better than him. Mind you, he had worked out earlier in the day because that's what he does. But yeah, CMOS. I am now a firm believer in CMOS. Let's see, Robert, what's going on? What's your thought on Super Beats powder? It's great. My preference is to actually get the beet juice. I got some in my refrigerator right now. The issue with the beet powder is that when you're taking, basically it's like orange juice concentrate. They took the water out of the orange juice so they could pack it so it could travel. The same thing is being done with the beets. Basically just taking the water out. That's why it's powder now. And so if you need to take it that way so that you can just carry it, take it to the gym, no problem. I would recommend that you just get the straight up juices. Hey man, can you grab mine out of the refrigerator? Yeah. Just want to show you the brand that I like. Oh, that's cranberry. Oh, yeah, bring it too. So I got let's see, Lakewood cranberry. And both of them cranberry? Oh, I thought that red in there was my beet juice. But yeah, beet juices. yeah. Cranberry juice and beet juice, the red. But yeah, I get the Lakewood beet juice. I'm almost out. So yeah, beet juice is powerful. Increases performance by 20%. So yeah, you want to keep that in your system. All right. C. Harris. Hey, appreciate you, sir. Doing God's work. Wow. Thank you. That's I'll keep going then. That's some high standards right there. Going to take it to church. All right, brothers. Jorge. Okay. Actually, let me, Jorge, give me 1 second here. Mr. Yankee, do you know any techniques to make guys stay longer in bed? Yeah, I did a video on how to last all night. And the first thing to recognize is that for a lot of guys, for a lot of people, period, they think that every time you have sex, the man is supposed to ejaculate. That is not true. There is, I said I was going to talk about, so let me talk about it. There's a difference between orgasm and ejaculation. So orgasm is just that feeling that you have. The ejaculation is when sperm comes out. So you can separate those two. And when you have those two separated, okay. Oh, my screen's doing something different. When you have those two separated, then you can have multiple orgasms. There's a book about the multi-orgasmic man. So you can have multiple orgasms. And so the other thing is you don't have to have either one of them. You can just last longer and enjoy it. Obviously, I'm going to say take African fly because that's going to increase your stamina so you can last longer. And really, that's what it comes down to, stamina. I'm not sure if you're saying last longer in terms of premature ejaculation. That's a different conversation. If you're saying that everything's fine and I just want to go take it from 5 minutes to 20 minutes, really, it just comes down to taking your time. Because a lot of times people are so anxious and so, and it's like you're supposed to enjoy it. Some people think I have to look like the porn movie that I saw and just keep going and doing and blah, blah, blah. It's like, relax. Enjoy it. AT, straight 100% organic beet juice works great. Yes, it does. Harvey, man, you know I love your name. Weinstein, my man. 1 glass of red wine occasionally, no good. That's fine. There's a saying in India, it's not what you do some of the time, it's what you do all of the time. So If you're doing that some of the time, when I say some, I mean like, once a week, once a month, something like that, that's fine. But if this is something that, you as a human, you can consume a lot of things that other animals can't consume, wouldn't consume. We as humans are all over this planet eating stuff, and bears can't go over this planet. Only things that can go over all over this planet are the things that follow us, roaches and mice. Outside of that, everything else has to stay where they are because they're limited to what they can eat. So we can consume things as long as we give our bodies enough time to get rid of it. As long as our bodies can get rid of it, then you can consume it. But what tends to happen, especially with drinking alcohol, is you just keep drinking. Just keep drinking, and your body never gets a chance to recuperate, recover. Your liver doesn't get a chance to repair itself, and so it becomes damaging to your body. So one glass of red wine, not a problem. Not a problem. Never go overboard with it. Navit Singh, you didn't answer my question, my query. Okay. Oh, here we go. Hello, sir. How can I recover fast from more sex? I really have any stamina or interest after one round. Okay, so you need a full blast on this one. How can I recover fast for more sex? So if you're, the second part is the part that's a little bit more concerning. I rarely have any stamina or interest after one round. So you have to increase your stamina and increase your interest. So, and part of that is just, being physically healthy, and enjoying that process. I mean, a lot of times people think, getting healthy just means I need to go for a week and just get it. As I mentioned before, I was working out with my nephew, and he said, how often do we need to work out? And the answer is direct, all of your life. All of your life. So you need to really get into that whole process of taking care of yourself, getting the supplements, getting the African fly, exercise, the ECS system. We always talk about the energy, making sure you're eating live fruits and vegetables, getting that good 8 hours of quality sleep, making sure you get your exercise in, getting your intermittent fasting, giving your body a break. So it can repair itself and get your stamina. Actually, intermittent fasting actually helps your stamina, and also taking care of stress. So, if your stamina is low, you have to get some work. It's not just going to be a pill or from a gas station or even just African fly. You have to get your work in. Rodney, I like this. I see the difference. I stop the meats, the beer, and the cheese. I do lots of fruits and vegetables blended. Yep. Yeah. All of that stuff. I mean, it works, guys. It works. If you not only look on here in terms of look at my other videos, look in the comment sections, you'll constantly hear people who say stuff just like this. They're making changes to their lives, and that's what's making the difference. Even if you go into the African Fly site, look at our testimonials. I mean, there's a guy that literally says, I was taking African Fly, then I started doing all the things that Uncle B said, or Brian said, and I made that change. It made a change. So yeah, this stuff works. It does work. Harvey, let me get you again. Oh, I missed somebody. All right, before I get you, Harvey, let me get to Jorge. Is that when you went to just eating straight plants? I'm not sure what part you're talking about, but I went to eating straight plants 3 years ago. Roughly 3 years ago. Oh, let me say, I started intermittent fasting and realizing that I was eating 200 animals a month 3 years ago, and then slowly went through the whole process of vegan and then to vegetarian, vegan, and then whole plants. So really whole plants, I would say like a year and a half of going more and more in that direction, and it pays off. It pays off big time. All right, back to Harvey real quick. Green tea, good or bad? I have my green tea over there. Green tea is great, and it makes. And the thing about teas that I like, and I don't mean the cheap teas. I don't mean the teas that some teas are just like all the fruit flavored teas. I have questions about, my preference is to have the straight herbs. I'm not worried about sugar. Also, that's a big thing. If you're going to be drinking the teas on the regular, like I do, do not add sugar. What, man? You knew that was coming. So, I mean, because that's the thing. I got you, Archie. That's the thing is that, if you're taking something, it's like, man, we grown. The Flintstones vitamins things never worked to begin with. I mean, if Flintstones vitamins work, I should be Superman by now. I was killing them suckers when I was a kid. It was like this nasty metallic aftertaste, but it was sugar. So, yeah, sugar is not going to be good for you. So mixing sugar with something that's not, something that's good with sugar is, I mean, it's like, why do it? You're just wasting time. So, yeah, be careful with that. Kenneth, I am at level 2. How can I get to a level 9 on the sexual performance scale? You have to do a lot of work, man, especially at level 2. And for my guys who are at that lower level, please take this seriously because you're a life giver. And at a 2, you can't give life. That means life is leaving you. So we need for you to get better, get serious on all levels of this. So yeah. Yeah. Please do that. So getting to a level 9. So getting from a level 2, once again, that ECS system, that is it. But getting to a level 9, especially as you get older, you have to get really serious. And this is the way that life works. You have between the ages of negative 9 months until 21, where nature is just providing, your body just naturally is provided with all the chemicals, the testosterone, all that stuff is just ramping up. And this is my own theory. Nature was like, hey, you're now grown. We don't have enough room for you to be lasting around here for a long time. So you need to either be healthy or not. And you need to figure it out and go. And so the older you get, nature is like, you're supposed to be smarter. Straight up. We don't, nature's not playing around with you. You're supposed to get smarter and know to take your ass sleep. to not eat that, but eat this, to do this and do that. So as you're going up that upward cycle, recognize that it's going to take a long time. I'm sitting at an 8 or a 9. I went down to a 5 because I was killing that meat. I mean, I would just tear up a pizza and all this other kind of stuff. And that different, for me to get to a 10, it's like, well, yeah, I recognize that in 10 just being everything works, spontaneous erections on demand, morning erections, being able to last as long as I want to, all of those great things. A 10 is, very low body fat so that you're able to, and in a strong core, so your erections point up, depends on your body type, but your erections are up at a 45-degree angle, and you're just fully healthy. It takes a lot of work. I mean, it's very satisfying work because your level of confidence, guys, I've gone through this process. At a 5, it's like, you want to go to bed right now? Okay, let me see. That's my African fly. But when you're at an 8 or 9 and you don't have to worry about it, it's not like, oh, let me look for Viagra, or let me run to the gas station first for some pill. Your confidence is much better. It's much better life. So get to it, guys. Get to it. Nathan, do you recommend intermittent fasting to someone like me who is skinny? Limited intermittent fasting. So the idea for any of this is for you to get healthy. Some people like to take things a lot further. And, it's like, hey, I've seen people fast. I mean, this is a documentary, but I've seen the people on the documentary make themselves sick by fasting. It's like, what are you doing? That's not the way this is supposed to work. You're supposed to get healthier. So you can do intermittent fasting. The typical body, even at a lower weight, is going to have a good 20 pounds of fat for you to be able to last longer. But you want to use the intermittent fasting so you're cleaning your body out, giving your body time to rest and to get stronger. But you don't want to take it too far where it's unhealthy for you. Okay, I hope that helps you, Nathan. Mm-hmm. Jorge, I just turned 30, so I still had time to enjoy eating chicken. That's good, man. That's funny. Hey, but the point is, I'm glad you understand that at some point you have to let it go. And the sooner you let it go, the better. Because, as you grow older, this stuff stays in your body. It's building up over time. So we had a question about the book. How much is your book? Actually, the book is currently available for download. Nikki, do you have the link for that? We can give Archie that link. The book it will be going on to Amazon and other stations. Other locations. We will be selling the book soon. So thanks for that question. Now, but yeah, we do have a link where you can get to the book right now. Just put in your email and download. Okay. All right, Michael Samuel, Mr. Ayers. Woo, daddy here. Okay. I tried purchasing your product, but I don't have PayPal. Why do I have to use it? You don't have to use PayPal. PayPal is just our merchant account. So when you go through, you don't have to click on PayPal. Just fill in your information. The next screen that comes up is, you just put in your regular credit card information. You don't have to use PayPal at all. Okay. Cool. All right. Mr. Daly. Have you ever heard of black ginger? What do you think about it? Unfortunately, no. Black ginger. Interesting. No, I haven't heard of that. So unfortunately, I can't give you an answer. If it's anything like ginger, it's great for your digestive system, great for circulation. Ginger is actually one of the ingredients in African flower. So yeah, ginger's not bad at all. Not sure about black ginger. How long does it take to deliver African fly? It's shipped out same day by 2 o'clock. By 2 o'clock. So if you order by United States Postal Service, it's currently 2 to 7 days for standard United States Postal Service. This because the Postal Service COVID. And so typically, it'll be 2 to 3 days. It just depends on where you live. We're shipping out of Maryland, right outside of Washington, D.C. So yeah. Oh, Michael, you got it? Okay. Raw blended onions. Someone made a comment. I haven't done that. Yeah. Somebody made a comment. Apparently that worked. I haven't tried it because I like kissing. So I'm not sure if that works for you. Great. And once again, everything. Some things work on some people's bodies just better. So there you go. Okay. Monk fruit. Yeah, monk fruit sweetener. Yeah. I've heard about monk fruit sweetener. I haven't tried that. I have to check that out. Saying Sims, how often should you do the intermittent fasting? Really depends on you. So I do intermittent fasting. I would say roughly 3 times a week. So, for me, it's basically skipping breakfast. And so, really to me, a lot of this stuff is like all about how do you make this a lifestyle? Because it's not like, you want to do intermittent fasting. I did intermittent fasting for a month and then I didn't do it for the rest of my life. No. You want to do intermittent fasting as long as you feel comfortable with it, because the thing to remember is that breakfast is a relatively new construct. These are all humans just came up with it. It wasn't like scientists said, no, humans eat breakfast and this is what happens. Breakfast being the most important meal is a commercial. Before the 1950s, I would say, most people didn't. It was coming in vogue. So what are the things that we need for breakfast right now? We need a grocery store, a stove, and a refrigerator. If you do not have those, eating breakfast is really difficult and time consuming, because in order to get that bacon, well, you don't have a refrigerator unless you salt that pig down, to salt that bacon down, you're going to have to go kill the pig fresh. That takes time. You got to build a fire. That takes time. You're getting milk. Well, it's no refrigerator, so you have to go get the milk that morning. That takes time. So a lot of people didn't do this. In fact, there are plenty of societies that only ate one time a day. They would everyone get together at 5 o'clock and eat. And I guarantee you, they were very healthy. This whole thing with breakfast is like I said, it's relatively new. The patent for the refrigerator by Albert Einstein wasn't put in until 1930, and cereal wasn't created until 1883. I believe that was the year. So, yeah, before that, people weren't eating cereal. There was no need for a whole bunch of milk, and killing an animal to get some bacon just takes up too much freaking time. So it's relatively new. Okay. Great question, though, Saying. I hope that helps. Archie, how to get others to be healthy, especially younger people. Let me give you the trick to how most of you guys got on here. I'm talking about health by talking about sex. I mean, you know, that's because here I always use this example. If I tell a guy, hey man, you're gonna be healthy if you go to sleep. All right, cool, whatever. Hey man, if you get good sleep, you're gonna increase your chances of having a morning erection. How many hours you say? Quality, what level of quality should I be at? So yeah. I mean, obviously for kids, you know, talking about sex, it's your kids. But you know, you have to make it relevant to them. And you know, for younger people, especially for the sexual health part, you know, you do need to, you know, even at 18, 17, 18, especially now, because men and women, young men and women, are having issues because of our lifestyle. Men in our generation and younger have less testosterone than our fathers and grandfathers, and going back, testosterone levels have been going down worldwide. So it is a problem with this new lifestyle. So yeah, you know, whenever you tie in something that you want somebody to learn with, you know, first entertain, then teach, and especially find them where they are. So that's what we did. We found people where they are in terms of like doing that. And thanks, Nikki. It is now 10 p.m. All right. So I want to hurry up and fly through as many questions as I quickly can. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you want to check out African Fly, go to africanfly.com. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe so we can get this information to you. All right. All right. Oh, Byron, that's a good one. And that's going to take a hot second. All right. So, Mr. Jordan, I've had ED problems for a couple of years, decided to try African Fly on my second bottle. Should I assume, since I've had this problem for so long, that I'll have to go through a few bottles? Okay. It's not just the African Fly. There's a pattern here. So there's a pattern of things that you're doing to get to the point where you have ED. Unfortunately, we don't have, I wanted to be able to bring people on to the show. We'll be doing that soon so that we can have an actual conversation and get more information. But so yeah, you can continue to use the African Fly, because African Fly will speed up your process of recovery. But you do have to ask yourself, what are you eating? Are you eating things that have a lot of energy? You're giving life. In order to give life, you have to have energy. So are you eating the fruits and vegetables? Are you getting sleep? That's the opposite of the energy. You're creating energy when you're asleep. You're also repairing your body. Are you getting that exercise in? The intermittent fasting. Are you dealing with your stress levels? So we need to figure out what your pattern is. You can take, as soon as you start breaking those patterns, whatever it is that you're not doing correctly, the African Fly will speed the process up. So yeah, I would suggest you still take it, but be very careful. All right, let's roll through this. When you think about nuts, you need to be careful with nuts if you have a weight issue, because they're very calorically dense, and so it takes some time. Mr. Weinstein, is low sodium V8 juice trustworthy? It's designed to sit. It's designed to sit on the shelf for a long time. So there's going to be some preservatives, things in there. Go ahead and look at the side of the box. Does it say just 8 juices and 8 vegetables? If it has a bunch of other things in there, then they put the salt in there so it can stay on the shelf. If they take the salt out, they're not trying to lose money. So something else went in typically. So take a look at the side of the bottle, see what's going on in there. Michael, I really need a chick with a wop. You funny, man. You funny. What is the better way to get 1 onion a day without the unpleasant taste? That, sir, I could not tell you. Yeah. So, cool. All right, gentlemen. Once again, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for your questions. I appreciate it. I learn whenever I talk to you. David, what herbs would you recommend we take for sexual health? I would say African fly. There's also ashwagandha and marapama, and there's some other products we're going to be coming out with. We just want to make sure we get the right source. F busy, I just want to answer this right quick. Reducing prolactin, changing your diet and keeping your stress levels down, stopping high intensity workouts or activities that overwhelm you. That's important. Avoiding clothing that makes your chest uncomfortable, and avoiding activity and clothing that overstimulate your nipples. It's prolactin. It's for the women, folks. And unfortunately, there's a lot of estrogen in our environment, not only in the chicken, but also in the different plastics and stuff like that affect our estrogen levels. So our prolactin is actually probably much higher than it should be. Okay. Raj, how about coconut water straight out of the coconut? That's the best coconut water. So yeah, of course. All right. Thanks, so Rick. How long does the bottle of African fly last? Using as directed, it is like roughly 2.5 weeks. Okay. All right. So, hey, once again, thanks everybody. Thanks for my staff here for helping me out. We are going to keep doing some improvements. So the next time, hopefully I'll be able to get you guys on screen and we can have a quick conversation so everybody can learn from everybody. Thank you so much. This is Uncle B saying, hey, have a great day. We'll talk to you next week. Look out for the show. Have a great one. Bye.